England. Once we had rolling hills and strong hearts. Now we have a nation that seems to have turned itself into a giant asylum, not for the genuinely mad, but for those afflicted with a peculiar modern ailment, the mental condition of not wanting to work, otherwise known as wanting to chill out for a living. It begins, as so many things do, with a celebration, not a celebration of victory, not a celebration of a job well done. No, for today in England, we hoist the celebration banners high and let off the party poppers for victimhood and mental health woes. Once upon a time, to admit you were depressed was to invite a stiff upper lip and a brisk walk in the rain. To confess to anger was to be told to channel it into something useful, like chopping wood or shouting at the TV. Now being depressed is a badge of honour, a ticket to the grand parade of the perpetually put upon. I can't possibly work, they chorus, and lo and behold, the doctor's pen scratches across the page. The health worker nods sagely, and another soul is declared unfit for the daily grind. The statistics are staggering. Millions, they tell us, are too fragile, too weak, too sick, too scared to face the warehouse, the building site, or even the faintly menacing hum of a cash register at McDonald's booting up. The diagnosis, anything from low mood to existential rage. The cure, a lifetime of disability payments courtesy of the state. Why, you might ask, are the doctors and shrinks so eager to sign off on this mass exodus from the workforce? One could be charitable and say it's compassion, a recognition that the human psyche is a delicate thing, easily bruised by the slings and arrows of modern life. But charity, like a cheap umbrella, holds up fine until the winds get strong. The truth, I suspect, is less noble. It's a system that thrives on dependency, a self-perpetuating machine where the medico-therapeutic class plays gatekeeper to a treasure trove of benefits. Every signature is a brick in the wall of their own relevance. Every patient sent off with a prescription and a PIP form is a testament to their power. And the patients, they're not complaining. Why would they? The highest rate of personal independence payment, PIP, to the initiated, is now a status symbol, a cause for popping the champagne. I've got the full whack, they scream, as if they've won the lottery rather than secured a state-sponsored salary. Disability benefits, state housing, motability cars. These are the new trappings of success in today's sick-note society. And entitlement through victimhood runs rampant, a river bursting its banks. Cast your mind back, if you will, to a time not so distant, say the mid-1990s. England was still a land of hard-working men and women, the sort who celebrated overcoming the odds rather than wallowing in them. The warehouse worker who trudged home exhausted, the bricklayer covered in dust, the shopkeeper who kept the till ringing through recessions. They didn't seek pity. They were not victims. They got on with it. Life was a hard game, but it was their hard game, and there was pride in that. A bout of the blues was shaken off with a hot Radox bath and a hot meal in front of the TV. A bad day was tomorrow's fish and chip paper. People got on with life. They embraced the ups and downs. Now, though, England itself is an open-air asylum. The walls are invisible, the bars made of paperwork and pills, and the inmates are legion, not raving lunatics, but ordinary folk who've discovered that the path of least resistance leads straight to the benefits office. The government seems only too happy to oblige. A populace drugged up on prescription tablets, dulled by booze, or lost in the pixelated haze of video games, is a populace that doesn't ask too many questions. Dependency is the goal. Keep them fed, housed and medicated, and they'll never look up from their screens long enough to notice the strings. State housing becomes a castle, a motability car, a chariot, and the monthly payment a golden fleece. In today's England, getting on with life is the disease. The cure, sponsored by the state, is to get out of your head on whatever's handy and call it liberation. All of this under the flag of mental health issues. A working class that toils and thrives is a restless beast, prone to grumbling, organising, even, heaven forbid, voting with intent. But a class lulled into dependency, that's a different animal, docile, distracted, tethered to the state by a drip feed of payments and pills. The government want and need a nation of the docile. Then there's the economics, or the perverse shadow of it. The old working class powered the nation. Factories hummed, taxes flowed, the wheels turned. But in our shiny, service-driven age, those jobs are thinning out, outsourced to cheaper shores, or swallowed by machines. What's a government to do with a surplus of hands when the mills are silent? Simple. Reclassify them. Call it disability. Call it mental unwellness. Call it whatever sticks. Just get them off the unemployment rolls and onto the disability ledger. It's a statistical sleight of hand. Fewer jobless, more incapacitated, and the headlines look kinder. Never mind that it's a slow bleed on the Treasury, the short-term optics are worth it, and besides, the bill lands on tomorrow's doorstep. And let's not discount the ideological angle, a motivation so cynical it almost deserves applause. The working class, in its heyday, embodied a rugged self-reliance that thumbed its nose at the nanny state. They didn't need handouts, they had pride, they had community. But pride and community is a problem when you're trying to build a society where the state is mother, father and priest, rolled into one. Elevate victimhood to a virtue, make dependency a lifestyle, and watch that old spirit wither. The government doesn't just tolerate this shift, they cultivate it, sowing the seeds with every form, every pill, every promise of a cushy life on the dole. A drugged up, checked out populace doesn't storm the barricades. It queues for its next fix, be it chemical or bureaucratic. So here we are, in an England where working and supporting yourself, getting on with life, as we once called it, is the affliction, and the state-sponsored cure is to check out entirely. Booze, cash, cars, prescription tablets, drugs, video games. Pick your poison. It's all on the menu. The men and women of yesteryear, those unballed souls who laughed at the odds, would scarcely recognise us. The government have got what they wanted. A working class no longer working, but claiming. A nation of inmates in an asylum of their own making. There's something deeply sad about watching a nation that once built empires and bridges and great ships decide that its crowning achievement is a perfect score on the disability assessment. The irony is thick enough to spread on toast. We've gone from keep calm and carry on to break down and cash in. And yet who am I to judge? The world turns, the culture shifts. Perhaps it's progress. Perhaps this is the utopia we were promised, where no one need lift a finger unless it's to key in your details on the benefits app. But I can't help thinking of those men and women of yesteryear, their hands calloused, their spirits unbowed, and wondering what they'd make of us now. Probably give us a hard, open-handed slap across the face and tell us to get back to work. And maybe, just maybe, they'd be right.